Bob Myers, the general manager and president of the Golden State Warriors, telling Adrian Wojnarowski he's stepping down. He is having a press conference at 1 p.m. San Francisco time today. Lots of conversations for Bob, who at age 48 is stepping away from easily one of the best gigs in professional sports, which is to be the president and general manager of a highly successful franchise that has Steph Curry at the top of his game leading it, and an owner in Joe Lacob who's made of money and doesn't seem to be shy about spending it, and apparently had a contract offer on the table for Bob that would have made him the highest paid, if not one of the highest paid executives in the entire sport, and he's stepping away. And I'm just imagining after 12 years, it's a grind. It's got to be a grind. If you're stepping away from the Golden State Warriors front office job of president of this franchise and general manager of this franchise, it's got to be a grind. And the question that I'm sure Bob is going to get about the punch. When that punch happened and we saw Draymond Green haul off and hit Jordan Poole, we thought there's no way to put this thing back together. And we're not talking about his jaw. We're talking about the team. And it's chemistry. And sure enough, they keep it in-house. They don't talk about it out loud other than the fact that it's terrible and he shouldn't have done it. Draymond afterwards says that he couldn't have the same voice in the room and understood why he couldn't have the same voice in the room all year long, and maybe that's why they couldn't play a lick of defense on the road all season long. Steph Curry didn't say much about it. I haven't heard him say much. Steve Kerr responded how it really never got fixed. Doris Burke saying it never really got fixed, as she just said. And I'm wondering if Bob Myers is stepping down, just saying, you know what, that took so much damn air out of the room. That was part of the grind here. I don't know. There's so many decisions that go into this personal. I don't know what that might have to do with it. But the question is do you keep Draymond Green? The next voice, does the next voice keep Draymond Green? Who's the next voice going to be? And sure enough, Adrian Wojnarowski saying, with Myers' departure, Warriors owner Joe Lacob is expected to seek more prominent roles for Vice President of Basketball Operations Mike Dunleavy Jr.
Oh, interesting.
Remember him playing? The Dookie, right?
Duke guy,
right?
Clipper.
And then, again, I hate to say this because I don't know the dynamic at all. But you read these words and you're like, uh-oh. His son, Kirk, an executive vice president of basketball operations. I hope the kid knows what he, is really good at his gig and it just doesn't have. I hate to say that stuff because I would never want anybody to say that stuff about my son or daughter if they ever get into a position that seems like I got them the job.
The Kendall Roy situation?
I don't know. It's more Succession. More Succession. I'm just going to get off that because that, again, I hopefully, Kirk Lacob is somebody who knows exactly how this works. Could be a savant.
I think it's
and it could work out.
I think it's really fair to wonder about Steve Kerr's future, and then what?
I mean, that's what
is it. Total breakup time? Are we firing up the Steph Curry to the Lakers rumors?
No way.
Oh, God.
Steph Curry's going nowhere. One place that Steph Curry is not going is anywhere but back into the starting lineup for the Golden State Warriors.
LeBron calls.
He calls. Okay, great. Come on. I mean, of course, Steph could wake up and say, I want to go, and then create the situation that seems totally out of his character. And I'm not saying that would call his character into question. I mean, players constantly say they want out, but that doesn't seem like the road that Steph Curry goes. I told you the issue with this team is whether Clay can make three-point shots with regularity, be the splash brother that put him into the Hall of Fame conversation. Yeah. That's what that's about. I mean, Draymond can still rile things up and be the guy who can disseminate, be the point forward sometimes and bring the ball up and make the three when you least expect it and stomp on people's guts figuratively and literally. But what he did in the locker room, how can you repair that? Do you send Jordan Poole out and keep him? Because I think you're going to have to do one of the two. And that's for the new general manager to figure out. But that's the way I'm reading this situation, is they suddenly stopped playing defense on the road in the regular season. I mean, they couldn't win. They couldn't stop a cold sometimes in the regular season on the defensive end. And Draymond Green said on his podcast after the season, hey, I just couldn't have the same voice in the room about these sorts of things.
I wonder why.
And right. And he said it's because of that. But the ultimate issue on the court, from what I saw, Clay just wasn't consistent shooting threes in the same manner in which he was. And if you're living by that, you are dying by that. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the next generation of stars that you would hope that they were cultivating, Gary Payton II was the only one that was of significant, consistent, huge, big-time level play from the last year to this year. And as you know, they sent him packing and got him back. Jordan Poole wasn't the same this year. And it might have been the punch. So that's the next order of business, is who is going to come off the bench? Who are you going to cultivate behind this big three? And do you keep the big three? And then there's Doris Burke saying Steve Kerr might sit around and think, am I leaving? Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.